I'd like to apologize in advance if my writing seems a little distracted today. I'm currently trying to keep a haunted doll from stalking my plumber. If you haven't read the first two posts I made, then that sentence probably caused you to doubt my sanity. I promise that it makes a lot more sense with context, or at least as much sense as my life can make anymore. Ever since I became roommates with a possessed doll, normality has taken a new meaning. An average day for me now includes a lot more glowing orbs and disembodied screams than it did before I posted that ad for a roommate. So I think that it's perfectly reasonable to assume that I've lost a little bit of my sanity among all this. The fact that I named the doll Shitwaffle probably doesn't help my case. Moving on. The plumber in my bathroom fixing my toilet, which has been refusing to flush for the past few days. Usually, I'd be suspicious of my roommate because I'm always careful about what I flush down there, unlike a lot of people I've lived with. Trust me, those are not the kind of horror stories you want to hear. However, I don't think Shitwaffle is capable of actually taking a dump. You know what? With not having an anus? I mean, I haven't exactly checked, but I think that's a safe bet, right? Oh god. If Shitwaffle can shit, I think that would be the most disturbing thing out of all of them. And that includes demonic rituals. I'm tempted to ask out of morbid curiosity because Shitwaffle is sitting right across from me. Somehow, though, I don't think that would go over well, and I really rather not have the plumber frightened away before he finished fixing my toilet. It's a miracle that I managed to get the plumber in the house without anything supernatural happening. Shitwaffle doesn't like visitors very much, especially when they start messing around with things. That's why I'm keeping a very strict eye on the doll while the plumber works. I actually started off with doing nothing but watching Shitwaffle to make sure no mischief was perpetrated. But that got boring quick. There's no winning a staring contest with a being with glass eyes. So I decided to write this to pass the time. Since until now, I've been pretty busy with holidays coming up. I mean, I don't really celebrate much. I'm planning on just going to a few parties with some friends, but I work retail and it is this crazy time of year. But I digress. I should start recounting some more of Shitwaffle's antics instead of rambling on about plumbing and work. Something interesting I've noticed is that our neighbor's dog absolutely loathes Shitwaffle. The Saint Bernard alternates between frightened whining and wild barking whenever she's walked past our house. The feeling appears to be mutual because Shitwaffle deliberately goes out of its way to aggravate the dog. Sometimes it's as simple as positioning itself in the window whenever the dog is put in the backyard to stare at her eerily. Sometimes it's more elaborate. Once I spotted the doll teasing the poor thing by causing her food bowl to burst into flames whenever she tried to eat from it. The yelps of surprise were pretty sad to hear at first, but as the dog was tricked again and again, it just got annoying. Seriously, if your food spontaneously combusts, stop trying to eat it! My neighbor is convinced that someone is trying to prank her. She often complains to me about the damn kids these days, who she believes are bullying her dog. Every time I just force a sympathetic smile, nod, and grab my mail so I can hurry back inside. I mean, what am I supposed to say? Yeah, sorry, it's my evil haunted doll who enjoys watching your dog suffer? Okay, maybe evil is too strong a word. But Shitwaffle is most definitely a passive-aggressive asshole. Just the other night, I stepped out of the shower, ready to brush my teeth and head to bed. The steam from the hot water hung in the air, pleasantly clouding the bathroom mirror with tiny droplets of condensation. I took a moment to breathe it all in. There's something relaxing about that quiet post-shower sensation. I remember thinking to myself, brushing my teeth contentedly. Drips from the shower head echoed through the tiled room. This isn't an ominous silence at all, I thought optimistically. This is a calm, happy silence. It's nice to have one of those for once. As I bent forward to spit out the toothpaste into the sink, fate proved me wrong. All the warm air was suddenly sucked from the room, sending chills down my skin like an electric shock. Ugh, fuck, that's cold! I yelled, jumping up. That's when I noticed the writing on the mirror, traced on foggy glass, too thin to have been drawn by any human hand. And definitely not there a moment before. I shivered. Rinse! The writing ordered. I looked down into the sink. The foamy toothpaste was still stuck to the ceramic sides, desperately attempting to dribble down towards the drain. Shit waffle, you micromanaging motherfucker! I screeched in frustration. I was getting to that fuck! Furiously, I splashed some water into the sink, and not because a doll told me to, I always rinse out my spit. Well, most of the time. Sometimes. Nobody's perfect! Anyway, why would a doll care? It doesn't use the sink! Freeing the cold air, I stomped out of the bathroom in search of my roommate in nothing but a ratty gold towel. Shitwaffle was perched nonchalantly on my bookshelf next to an open copy of 20th Century Dolls from Biscay to Vinyl. The fuck do you think you were pulling back there? I raged, adjusting my towel with all the dignity I could manage. Freezing me to death is no way to communicate your needs. I paused. Wait, where did that book come from? I pride myself on knowing every single book in my house. You probably wouldn't guess it from looking at me, but I love to read. I spent a large part of my childhood exploring the public library. But this was no compendium of Shakespeare, no battered copy of Maya Angelou's poems, not even the magic fucking treehouse! It was a picture book of vintage dolls, and I'd never seen it before in my life. Later, I wondered about how a haunted doll would purchase something at a store. Do they tunnel up to the counter, money clenched in one tiny fist towards a gas cashier? Maybe I pondered late at night they have to steal books. That makes more sense. Images of dolls in tiny catsuits lowering themselves from the ceiling to snatch books from counters still flash through my mind when I space out. But at the moment, the only thing that came to my mind was... Is that... Is that like porn for you? Shitwaffle blinked calmly at me and then turned back to reading the book. Hold on. We still have to talk about the whole mirror thing. I remembered shaking my head to get rid of the distracting thoughts and dripping water from my hair. Shitwaffle looked at me unimpressed. Okay, so I leave the sink a little messy. I admit to that. But you kind of overreacted with the whole spooky ghost message and cold air thing. You don't need to pull stunts like that to get my attention. I can't promise that I'll always be the perfect housemate, but I can promise that I'll always try to listen. You can talk to me about this kind of stuff. The doll seemed surprised in my earnest words and glanced up and down at me as if seeing me for the first time. Hope bloomed in my chest. It might be the start of real communication between us. We'd never really connected like this before. Like two people sharing a space instead of just happening to live in the same space. Or Shitwaffle could be checking me out in all my wet towel glory. By the way, I asked, now curious, why do you care so much about the sink being clean? A porcelain arm raised to point at my towel. At first, I thought that was just proof that it was ignoring everything I was saying to stare at my ridiculous attire. Then it hit me. Oh! You take baths in the sink? The doll's head wobbled an approximation of a human nod. That's fucking adorable! I blurred out. Shitwaffle glared at me. I'll make sure to clean out the sink from now on, and if I put a tiny hand towel next to it each night, well, that's my business. Speaking of bathrooms, the plumber actually seems to be in distress right now. I keep hearing splashes and shock gas from the next room over, but Shitwaffle is sitting right across from me, so I don't see how it could be... Aw, fuck. The plumber just ran out of the bathroom like a bat out of hell. I better go check on him. Okay, real quick update. Don't have time to write down what just happened over the last hour, but it was definitely Shitwaffle's fault. It's going to take a while to get rid of all the bones and slime and... I'll explain next week.